Some people think that acting is like an endless vacation with cocktails and parties. It's enough just to learn the text by heart and then take a rest on laurels. But it's not. Acting often requires serious sacrifices. Someone pays for success with health, exhausting themselves with training and dangerous diets. Some lose friends and their loved ones, and some literally drive themselves to madness. Today on About Movies channel, we're going to talk about the sacrifices some actors make in order to get used to the role. Click on the subscribe button and bell to find out all the most interesting and shocking facts about the world of cinema. Subscribe and let's start. Many actors work according to Stanislavsky's system in order to get better into character. This is the most famous acting technique in the world. Its essence lies in seeking to truly experience all emotions of a character. Some actors experiment with their body, gain or lose weight, learn the profession of their character, or don't go out of character even outside of the movie set. This method is so popular that it has almost become the gold standard for Hollywood. Producers and audiences already consider it the norm. From a recent example, we can recall memes about Christian Bale's extreme training for his roles. He alternately lost weight, then became fatter. He could do it several times in a row. For example, after filming American Psycho, he lost 66 pounds for the lead role in The Machinist, and then in an extremely short time, gained 99 pounds to play in Batman Begins. It would seem that after such an experience, Bale should have stopped experimenting with his body, but didn't do that. For the role of U.S. Vice President Dick Cheney in the film Vice, he gained weight up to 227 pounds and immediately after its filming lost 154 pounds for the film Ford vs. Ferrari. Later, the actor said that he would no longer harm his body with extreme weight gains. I can't keep doing this, I really can't. Death is staring me right in the face. But Bale's example can be contrasted with Gary Oldman's preparation for Darkest Hour. There, he played British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. The actor plunged headlong into the image of a politician, but didn't gain extra pounds. Makeup artists did all the work. It turned out no worse than Christian Bale's, and for his work, Oldman received an Oscar for Best Actor. However, some actors have to lose or gain weight not on their own initiative, but in order to visually match their character. And it doesn't matter whether they are fans of Stanislavsky's system or not. For example, in order to be as similar as a ballerina as possible, Natalie Portman lost 12 kilograms in preparation for her role in Black Swan. For a whole year, the actress ate only vegetables and fruits and trained for 8 hours a day. She studied ballet pas and swam in a pool to exhaustion. Fortunately, soon after filming, Natalie managed to get pregnant and get her well-deserved Oscar. Charlize Theron, one of the most beautiful women on the planet, a fragile blonde with a perfect figure, was highly appreciated by critics for her role as a murderous prostitute in Monster. But the price for this was high. The girl forgot about her modeling past and gained an extra 28 pounds. For the sake of reincarnation, Charlize had to exchange exquisite designer dresses for stretched, worn jeans and walk with messy, dirty hair.
Is it okay? Yeah, it was fine.
In addition, to complete the image of an ugly, unfortunate woman, the makeup artists did a good job on Theron's perfect skin and forced the actress to wear dentures and shaved off her eyebrows. In addition, on the set, Charlize Theron almost didn't communicate with anyone and behaved rather irritably and unsocially, so after the release, her colleagues seemed to get to know Charlize Theron again. As a reward for suffering, the actress received an Oscar, a Golden Globe, and recognition from film critics around the world. Matthew McConaughey, for his role in Dallas Buyers Club, received an Oscar for the main male role. In order to realistically depict a man dying of AIDS, he went to extreme weight loss. For the 44-year-old actor, the weight test became a tough contest with himself. A Hollywood handsome man with a perfect body and a charming white-toothed smile was supposed to turn into a man exhausted by a serious illness on the verge of life and death. The actor himself called his diet hardcore, but it really led to amazing results. He lost almost 7 pounds every week. The actor could afford to eat only 2 egg whites and some chicken a day. Matthew admitted that he became very irritable when his weight dropped to 141 pounds. The actor revealed that when filming finally ended, the first thing he did was eat a cheeseburger. Renee Zellweger, being usually slender and graceful, went through major changes in her appearance in order to play the plump and not very happy Bridget Jones. Despite her good looks, the actress constantly failed in Hollywood. It was for the role of Bridget Jones that Zellweger was nominated for an Oscar. For the sake of filming, she recovered by 28 pounds. The diet of the actress consisted of pizza and donuts. She admitted that she was very afraid of the specialist's reservations, that it was very harmful for her body to gain weight in a short time. Fortunately, after filming ended, the actress was able to quickly return to her usual thin physique to play in the musical Chicago. But the role of the funny blonde Jones was so popular with the audience that Zellweger didn't hesitate to gain weight again for filming the next film about Bridget. Some were not as lucky as our previous heroes, and we can say that all their efforts were in vain. Ashton Kutcher, in preparation for the role of Steve Jobs, decided to go on the same diet as the founder of Apple. It was a fruitarian diet. It includes fruits, vegetables, nuts, and grains, and fruits are consumed without pre-treatment other than cleaning. This diet led to the fact that the actor lost 20 pounds and ended up in the hospital after suffering a bout of inflammation of the pancreas. To make matters worse, Kutcher received a nomination for the Golden Raspberry Anti Award for his suffering. Tom Hanks has suffered the most from constant bullying of his own body. He recently admitted that the experiments with heaviness, which he went through to transform into his characters, became the cause of type 2 diabetes, which the actor has been struggling with for more than 20 years. The actor even once joked that the main thing the directors only did was constantly ask him to gain weight or lose weight. In 1993, he lost 26 pounds and shaved his head to play a gay man dying of AIDS in Philadelphia. By the end of filming, Hanks was supposed to look like a haggard, exhausted man, which was close to death. Interestingly, for this film, Hanks was known only for his comedic roles. After the release, they finally started talking about him as a serious dramatic actor. The next time the actor decided on a radical reincarnation for a role was the 2000 drama Castaway. This time, the actor lost 33 pounds and grew his long hair and beard. Some actors, in addition to the diet, have to spend several months in grueling workouts. For her Oscar-winning role in Million Dollar Baby, Hilary Swank had to put on muscle mass in record time and at great health risk. She had to eat only eggs and protein shakes and exercise for several hours a day. But weight gaining or its critical losing is far from all that true adherents of Stanislavsky's system are capable of. The only problem is that their sacrifices often affect people around them. Perhaps a vivid example of such a situation, the preparation of Shia Labeouf for the role of a tank gunner for Fury by David Ayer. The actor decided to immerse himself in the role so much that he even joined the US National Guard, converted to Christianity, got himself a tattoo, and lived for a month in a military base especially for the film. But he didn't stop there. Labeouf pulled out his tooth, made an incision in his face, and spent hours watching videos of horses being killed. This strange preparation for the role could be considered adequate if not for one small but important circumstance. The actor decided not to take a shower for 4 months. Allegedly, this allowed him to immerse himself more in the role of a tanker, but perhaps Labeouf didn't think that he was filming not alone, but along with other actors who had to endure his stink inside the tank. His desperate commitment to the acting method inevitably led to conflict on the set of Fury. For example, Brad Pitt, who played the lead role, went mad at the smell of his colleague. The actors repeatedly fought, and Labeouf had to isolate himself from the film crew and live in a small hotel away from the rest of the actors. The filmmakers, including director David Ayer, repeatedly reprimanded him for inappropriate behavior. For example, here, the dirt on Labeouf's body is real. The actor almost didn't have to put on makeup on the set. But the discomfort from the stench can hardly be compared with psychological pressure, harassment, and insults in relation to other actors. In this regard, Dustin Hoffman perhaps excelled most of all. During the production of Kramer vs. Kramer, Dustin Hoffman, along with Meryl Streep, played roles of ex-spouses who had to go through the difficult throes of divorce. To better play his character, Hoffman decided to make Meryl Streep's life hell. Film director Robert Benton told Vanity Fair that Dustin Hoffman got too carried away with immersing himself in his character and repeatedly brought the actress to tears to play the way he wanted. For example, before filming the opening scene of the film, he gave Meryl Streep a hard slap in her face, after which it turned red. This episode unpleasantly surprised not only her but the entire film crew. Hoffman's bullying didn't stop there. He realized that Streep could be quickly brought to the right emotional state with the help of insults towards her late husband, John Cazale. And with each time, the actor picked up more and more harsh expressions that deeply hurt his partner. Dustin egged her on and provoked her, using his knowledge of her personal life with John Cazale to get Meryl to act out the way he felt she needed to act out. Of course, the actor was not limited to words. He intimidated Streep with his behavior on the set, and during one of the scenes, without warning, he broke a glass of wine next to her. The glass got into her hair, and the actress had to be calmed for a long time after this episode. But Meryl Streep found what to answer to Hoffman's constant bullying. For the scene where her character speaks at her son's custody trial, the actress herself wrote a speech for her character.
The time I left, I felt that there was something terribly wrong with me.
Moreover, her words were more likely not to Hoffman's hero, but to the actor himself. Streep's heroine stated that she couldn't live with her husband, but since then, she has worked hard to become a full-fledged person, and for this, she should not be punished. With this, she wanted to show that she can play on her own and should not be treated with disrespect. After filming this scene, Hoffman's bullying stopped. Meryl must have enjoyed that scene a lot because she showed Dustin that she didn't have to be slapped in order to act. She could play the right way at any moment. Cases on the set of Fury and Kramer vs. Kramer show that meticulous adherence to the method can lead, in the end, to serious conflicts and sometimes to violence. Preparing for a role using this acting technique makes sense only when it doesn't interfere with other people and doesn't harm them. In any other case, this is just an excuse for inappropriate behavior on the set. Individual cases show that following Stanislavsky's system can turn into a farce, and immersing actors in a role in this way can be used as a marketing tool. Jared Leto is among the fans of this promotional model. He heavily advertises each of his roles in the press. For Chapter 27, where he played the killer of John Lennon, Leto gained 61 pounds, and for the image of a transgender on the set of Dallas Buyers Club, on the contrary, he threw off 28 pounds and made an epilation of the whole body. For this role, he received an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, but then Jared Leto played perhaps the worst role of his career, playing Joker in Suicide Squad. The film was promoted in many ways, from the soundtrack of songs from popular pop bands to leaks and stories about the actors.
There is something you could do for me, Doctor.
Anything, yeah.
I need a machine gun.
For example, rumors circulated on the net for a long time that the actor sent the bodies of a dead pig and rats to his colleagues on the set, and at the end of filming, he sent parcels with anal balls and used condoms to everyone.
Yeah. You're gonna be my friend.
But not all these stories were true. In an interview, Leto denied the rat story, saying that the only thing he sent Roby was delicious vegan Cinnabons. But what he did really was spend some time in a psychiatric hospital. There, he met with patients who have been on treatment for a long time. The actor met people who committed monstrous crimes and have been in the hospital for a long time. These are the kind of lunatics that Joker could use to be his accomplices in Arkham Asylum. I did a lot of things on set to create momentum, and the element of surprise, spontaneity, and break down any walls between us. Joker is not a person who respects personal space or boundaries. The actor was so carried away that he didn't leave the image of Joker even during breaks. He didn't communicate with other actors and was dismissive of the film crew. Supposedly, his character would have done so. And all for the sake of observing the roles of the actor's method. The actor's mistake was that immersion in the image had almost no effect on the film itself, and on the contrary, annoyed those around him. For the role in The Pianist, the actor turned his life upside down. To feel the life of the hero, the pianist Władysław Szpilman, who lived in humiliation and suffering in the Warsaw Ghetto during World War II, Brody decided to feel the pain of loss. He donated his car and apartment to his loved ones and distributed jewelry to those in need. The apogee of preparation was parting with his girlfriend. On the screen, the actor sincerely suffered for the lost love and regretted his wanderings. For his performance, the actor received an Oscar, admiring reviews from critics and the love of fans. But after filming, Adrian was never able to get back in touch with his girlfriend. She didn't understand and didn't appreciate his experiments. As you can see, sometimes some actors go too far in trying to get used to the character. And which of the acting sacrifices impressed you most? Be sure to let us know in the comments. Let's move on. Jim Carrey also showed shocking preparations on the set of Man on the Moon about the life of comedian Andy Kaufman. Carrey, who was known for his comedic roles, wanted to establish himself as a serious dramatic actor. For this, he fanatically prepared for the role according to Stanislavsky's system. He not only immersed himself in the role of Andy Kaufman, but sought to reincarnate as this person. Carrey required everyone on the set to call him Andy. It even got to the point that he negotiated participation in other films in the form of a comedian without leaving the role. Unfortunately, rather quickly, the actor's desire to become Kaufman led to an unpleasant incident on the set of the film. His colleagues, including Danny DeVito, were not comfortable working with him, and director Milos Forman had to endure his antics. In addition, Carrey constantly insulted members of the film crew, makeup artists, decorators, lighting workers, and others. He also regularly got drunk and forced the workers on the site to drag him to the dressing room. In a moment, Andy Kaufman himself appeared. He patted me on the shoulder and said, "Sit down. I'll play in the film myself, and what happened next was beyond my control." Being in character, he interfered with the rest of the work, and his immersion in the role was more of an outrageous manifestation than a desire to make the picture better. But sometimes, preparing for a role in an image can do without strange antics. Suffice it to recall how Robert De Niro, before the filming of Taxi Driver, drove passengers around New York at night, sometimes for 12 hours in a row. This not only helped him get into character, but also made his portrayal in the film more believable. In addition, De Niro didn't cause problems for anyone on the set, and in this case, the acting method was more than appropriate. Stanislavsky's system allowed many great actors to become famous. For example, at one time Marlon Brando popularized this technique in Hollywood. Indeed, at that time, his acting game was very different from the rest. One such example is the case of Daniel Day-Lewis, the only actor in film history to win 3 Best Actor Oscars in his career. For Gangs of New York, where he played the main villain, Day-Lewis fully got into his image and learned the profession of a butcher. The actor learned to throw knives and refused to wear anything other than real clothes from the late 19th century. Just because of this, he caught pneumonia and tried to be cured with the medicines that existed at that time period, but they didn't help, and the matter could have ended in death if he hadn't agreed to go to a modern hospital. Thus, his adherence to the acting method almost took his life. Another famous case of quite radical preparation, according to Stanislavsky's system, is the late Heath Ledger's rehearsal for the role of Joker in The Dark Knight.
Hello, beautiful.
According to rumors, in order to feel the role of Joker, the actor completely cut off contact with the outside world and isolated himself in a motel room. There, he kept a diary on behalf of his character. Even before the filming, the actor suffered from problems with insomnia, and preparation for the role further shattered his mental health. After filming, Ledger couldn't sleep for days on end, and to fight insomnia, he took antidepressants and sleeping pills. As a result, this was the cause of his death. The actor died from a drug overdose. Of course, the acting method cannot be considered something unambiguously bad. If full immersion in the role really helps the actor to play better, then this should be encouraged, but as a rule, such preparation takes longer than it should. For example, Anthony Hopkins spoke about this. He doesn't believe in the acting method according to Stanislavsky's system. According to Anthony Hopkins, his acting method is a real pain in the ass. Who wants to work with a pathetic grunt who wants to play his character right and asks to be called by the character's name? I've played with these actors, and they're really a pain in the ass. They are not pleasant to work with, and I don't think they always play that well. Anthony Hopkins. However, a serious drawback lies not only in this. Some feel that this technique is at odds with acting in general. Instead of playing roles, actors tend to transform. The famous actor and director Laurence Olivier also criticized the playing method. He's largely known for his adaptations of Shakespeare's plays. On the set of Marathon Man, where he played with Dustin Hoffman, Olivier asked his colleague how he prepared for the role. Hoffman said that for the scene where his character didn't sleep for 3 days, he really didn't sleep for 3 days. To this, Olivier replied, "Why don't you just try to play it?" Stanislavsky's system has both pluses and minuses. It's impossible to deny that most of the actors we've talked about have given us wonderful, unforgettable characters. At least 3 of them have made invaluable contributions to film comics. Bale's Batman, Ledger's, and Leto's Jokers definitely stand out from the rest. Nolan's films, by the way, brought film comics to a whole new level. In particular, thanks to strong actors, he proved to the world that superheroes can be serious, and an actor who plays a supervillain can even win an Oscar for this role. If you click on the icon that appeared on your screen, you'll find out a detailed, fascinating history of the development of superhero films. Why comics couldn't be filmed for a long time, what made superheroes so popular, and how it was affected by 9/11. Follow the link and watch. And that's all. About Movies was with you. Like this video and see you soon. Bye-bye.